say they want to do this, to avoid tax invasion, and I really just think it's gonna hurt like small business owners, that's but their income fluctuates a lot. They don't have a lot of employees and things like that. So I don't know. I feel like it's gonna hurt them more. Like I guess pay more in taxes or pay more on money, just investments. Which you already do have to pay taxes on your investments once you start moving money around in your investment accounts. So I don't understand. I guess we just gotta see a little bit more of how this is all gonna unfold with this tax force, what they're gonna be looking for. It probably has something to do with all these dang PPP loans everybody been taking out. Now they want to monitor people bank accounts and stuff like that. People is getting those. Yes, it has. Just find one of my 30-minute shows and put it on now. I keep yawning anyway. I don't know why. And we not even recording. We're not recording. Mm-mm. Oh, I'm here. Here. Oh, yep. There you go. Okay, and I'm back. Sorry, guys, having a little technical difficulties here. So, so hopefully that will be the last interruption that we have. Um, so yeah, so I was talking about what was I talking about? Body blow. Um let's see. So the R. Kelly thing, I think I was done talking about the R. Kelly thing, and then the Joe Biden with the bank account thing. So yeah, done talking about him and the bank account thing too. Just make sure that you get your financial things in orders, your wills and trust and things like that in order, because who knows what it is that we're going into with all these, I don't know what to call it, like just different things. Like I don't know what this president is doing. This is the president y'all wanted in office. I mean, I just feel like I don't know. I'm gonna just leave that opinion to myself because that's just an opinion. This is the truth be told. So I don't want to just be on here just flattening out a bunch of opinions regarding it. However, you got to make the decision for yourself. This thing says Wells Fargo pays 72.6 million to settle Justice Department claim of defrauding customers. I can believe it. That's probably why they what's the name? Stop giving out lines of credit and things like that. It was something on here that I wanted to talk about. Well, earlier in the week, let's talk about this. Earlier in the week, earlier in the week, um, an actor, AJ Johnson. I don't know if you guys are familiar with AJ Johnson, but he played in House Party, he played Ezell in the Fridays, he played I got the hookup with Master P. Various, different roles, things like that. Those are some of the roles he's known for that I know him for, right? So he passed away earlier this week, and his wife had to do um a GoFundMe or to bury him. Now we're talking about an actor that's been over in probably over a dozen movies, right? Since he was young, because House Party was a while ago, right? So for years, you know what I'm saying, successful actors being in roles in the movies and things like that, right? No life insurance. No life insurance. See, there's a problem, right? This is a problem, and this is why I want to talk about it, because this is a problem um in our community, right? This is a problem in our community. How many times do you see someone pass away and you see GoFundMe accounts to bury them, or at people asking for cash apps and things like that? He was 56 years old. Um, yes, and so and then here's another thing. Here's another thing. Well, no, let me get back to this. So he didn't have life insurance. Um, here's the thing. We do so many things, like, right? People, you buying clothes, you buying shoes, when the newest pair of Jordans come out, you going on vacations, you going on trips, you in a club every weekend, every other weekend, you drinking, you popping bottles, you doing all these type of things that can add some people smoke, marijuana every week. That's in their budget. You know what I'm saying? However much money they spend on that a week, a month, whatever, right? But you can't pay $30 to $40 for some life insurance. You're doing all these things to put your life in danger. You're in a club, you got the possibility of the club getting shot up. Bullets don't have no names on it, right? Anything could happen. You smoking, you're drinking, you're doing all these things that lower your life, that lower, your life capacity. I guess you going out of the country, you going on planes. A plane can crash. Granted, I hope it don't. I mean, we don't anticipate it happen, but it happens, right? Not so often, but it happens, right? So you never know what can happen or what can take place in your life, and you are not preparing yourself for not even yourself, but your family, because it's not one. See, you know what? And it's crazy because just being transparent with with you guys, I lost my grandmother this week, right? And I've been having conversations with my friends and my family and things like that, right? Because everybody look at me like kind of heartless, or what I'm saying, something like that, because I don't seem affected, right? But here's the thing: we have been programmed, and this is the truth be told. So we gonna deal in it. And I'm mad that it's like 6:25, and I'm gonna have to go on break in a minute. But we have been programmed that that when someone dies, transitions, right? And I'm used to the word transition in just a minute. And I'm gonna tie that back in and why I'm using the word transition. But that when someone dies, that we are automatically supposed to be sad. We are supposed to cry. We are supposed to grieve. They got like the 6 stages of grief for things like that. Anger is all tied to. Matter of fact, let me Google it, because and I'm gonna come back to that and we're gonna grow this back into the life insurance conversation, um, about, AJ Johnson. However, I just want to show you the programming that we have been subjected to, I guess would be the question. 5 stages. Okay, so they say it's 5 stages of grief. Um, some say 7, some say 5. What are they? So let's see. There's one that says 7, there's one that says 5. Um, so let me see. So shock and denial, indeniability, pain and guilt, right? Anger and bargaining, anger, depression, reflection, and loneliness, depression. The upward turn. So that's when you start, I guess, healing, reconstructing, working through, and then acceptance. Okay, so, and it's like, why do we have to go through all these other steps? Why are these other steps even in there? Why can't we just go to acceptance? And let me tell you why. When you understand, because this is the truth be told, and I was having this conversation, and we got people, some people may say that it seems harsh, but it's just the truth, right? When you're born, the only thing guaranteed to you is death from this. But see, here's the thing: we've been programmed to fear death through so many different things. You got different religions. So, in Christianity, they tell you about heaven or hell. People fear hell, don't do this or you're going to go to hell, when you die, right? So people fear death because you have this destination of where the unknown, right? Of where you're going. You got some Muslims, Shiite Muslims, they believe in hell and paradise, same concept, heaven and hell, right? And so we didn't have this fear, and y'all didn't heard me say on this show before, it's like heaven and hell is really not a place. You know what I'm saying? It's a state of mind. It's inside of us. You create yourself. You create whether what you're going through your mind state right now is dwelling in heaven or if it's dwelling in a hell state by your thoughts, right? Because we're all here together, but we're all on different journeys and we all experience life in a different way. We're all going through different things, right? It's all about understanding and how you think about things. So where it kind of, that's why I said the programming comes in, because you've been programmed to say, oh, you're supposed to be sad. Oh, you're supposed to feel guilty. Oh, you're supposed to be depressed. Oh, you're supposed to be, what was the first one? Let me see. Oh, in denial, pain, anger, and supposed to feel pain, you in denial, you know what I'm saying? All these things that say that you're supposed to do this when someone close to you or someone connected to you transitions, right? Dies. So, but why? When you know this is coming, see, here's the thing, and I've went through a lot of death in my life, um from my mother to my own children, grandparents, cousins, loved ones, people, thought I was in love with, all kind of things like that. So there's been a lot of death, in my life. So it's really one of those things, concepts, that you really have to come to a greater understanding of, right? And so I tell people all the time, it's like the serenity prayer. It's like, let me look it up because I don't want to misquote it, right? It's in my phone somewhere though, to be honest. I just don't feel like looking through all the pictures. So, um, God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. See, a lot of people only stop right there with the serenity prayer, not knowing that the serenity prayer is actually a lot longer than that. But that's the most popular part of the serenity prayer. When people say the serenity prayer, that's exactly what they think of, what they have in mind, what they quote, all that, right? So God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change. Now, here's the thing: death is not something that we can change. We cannot change the concept of death. We cannot really change when it happens, if it's especially if it's already happened. You can't go back in the future and change the fact that someone has transitioned. You you have to find serenity and peace and understanding of what it is, but you got to be able to understand it. See, the fear comes in, the loneliness and depression, because of the loss that you feel of that physical being. But when you understand that we are not humans having a spiritual experience, we are spirits having a human experience, you understand that this human body is only a vehicle. It only dwells in its plane of manifest. But what's inside of you, the essence of you, who you actually are, is your spirit, your soul. That cannot die. You can still communicate. You can still, when people say, in African traditions, you got giving libation, pouring libation to the ancestors. They pray, they have altars, they feed the ancestors, all these type of things. You know what I'm saying? Well, what are ancestors? Ancestors are passed on souls, passed on spirits. They're still reaching out and connecting to these spirits, getting messages and everything from these spirits. So, there's already the concept of, I, I say question everything, Eric, question everything that you've been taught, right? Because we've been taught certain things to keep us in a certain state of mind, but we got to start reprogramming ourselves to come up out of that, and death is one of those concepts. Because when you dwell on lower frequencies, it attracts other lower frequency things to you. So when you have this anger stage, when you're in this depression stage, when you're in this in denial stage, all these stages of guilt, pain, when you're experiencing all those things, then you are attracting those things, more of things that cause you to have those type of feelings to come to you. You know what I'm saying? It's like we can't do anything. We can't question. We don't know when it's going to happen. And who are we to even question when and why it's happening? You can't do, like, if you believe in God, whatever God you choose to believe in, whatever you want to call them, if you believe in a higher power, there is no way that you will allow yourself to question a higher power. And that's what we do when we come into these stages of grief and denial and guilt and depression and all this, because of a loved one transitioning. And you also hold that spirit back from what that spirit is called to do on other realms of life, when it's still connected and it can still feel you in your grief and in your pain, right? So it's really definitely a situation. Death is definitely one of the things that our people need to be more educated on. It should be more of a celebration of life, you know like a celebration of life, instead of people just together just being sad, and things like that. Like, it's not supposed to be like that. It doesn't have to be like that. And don't feel weird if you don't feel like that, right? I don't feel weird about how I feel, because I know the truth and I live in truth. You know what I'm saying? So anybody say something, towards me about I didn't been through so much, like, no, you can't tell me about experiencing death in any relation, because I didn't experience it. You know what I'm saying? So I've at 33, I didn't experience it, right? So but it's so that, but we experience things, and we go through certain lessons so that we can learn certain things in life and about life, right? And that's why they say you keep going through the same things until you learn the lesson, right? But once you learn the lesson, doesn't mean that the test still doesn't come. You just know how to pass the test, right? You just know how to get through the test. You know how to jump over the hurdle, because the hurdle's still gonna come. And then it says the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change. The courage to change the things that I can change. Now let's go back to this life insurance, right? Because what we can change, since we know that death is inevitable, it's happening. You know what I'm saying? You don't know when it's gonna happen. You don't know where it's gonna happen, but you know it's gonna happen one day, right? Why would you not change the financial situation that you leave your family in to have to bury you, to have to cremate you, to have to have a funeral service, a repast, all these things. If it's any debt left out of there, if it's any bills, if it's any bills that they outstanding bills or outstanding debt that they may have, things like that or whatever that you may have. And then also generational wealth. See, we talk about generational wealth so much on the Truth Be Told, and I hope that some at some point it just gets into every listening ear's mind and path and goals to establish some type of generational wealth. Life insurance does that as well, because you leaving something on to your children, to your family. You know what I'm saying? Businesses, things like that. You're leaving things behind that shows that dash in between your birth year and your dying year meant something. That you did something with it. Like, if you think about it, something was to happen tomorrow, what would your dash be? Are you prepared? Have you changed? Have you had the courage enough to not party one weekend and use that money to go towards a life insurance policy? You know what I'm saying? Like, all it takes is one weekend of sitting in the house. I'm pretty sure people spend more than $50 going out on a weekend. I know it. I know they do, because I spend more than $50 when I go out. You got to pay to get in. You paying for your drinks, pay to park, gas, outfit, shoes, jewelry, everything. I'm talking about, and everything that it takes to, have your night hair done, nails done, whatever, pedicure. I'm just saying for myself. I don't know y'all life, but you know what I'm saying? Like, these are the type of things that we have to go through. So, have you had the courage enough, the discipline enough to actually put in a change to where if you pass away, your family is not out here selling fish plates. Your family is not out here collecting GoFundMe's. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the type of things that we have to look into, that we have to have conversations about. And yes, the conversation might be uncomfortable. Yes, you might not want to think about that one day you're gonna die, but that doesn't take the reality out of it. It does not take the truth out of it. We have to be smarter. We have to do different things. We have to do something. We can't see the thing they say, the saying is like, you keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. That's the definition of insanity. That's the definition of insanity, right? And it goes for our generations as well. We can't keep doing the same things that the generations before us did, expecting that we're going to be doing something different, or that we're going to set our children up to be in a different position, or that our lives are going to be in a different position. No, we're doing the same things. We're doing the same things, right? So we have to start doing something different. What is that thing? You got to have courage enough to be the black sheep. You got to have courage enough to be the black sheep. You got to have courage enough to say, you know what, daddy, mama, you know what I'm saying? I respectfully, I value your opinion, but I'm gonna do this a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? You have to, because I remember a conversation that I had with my mom, a while ago, whatever. And it was I'm basically just explaining, like, I love you, you know what I'm saying? I value your opinion. However, you cannot tell me how to get somewhere that you never been. Let that sink in. No one can tell you about your path if they have not traveled that path. Period. If you have not accomplished what I'm trying to accomplish, there's no way you can tell me how to accomplish it. You can't do it. That's why it's important to have great mentors. That's why it's important to have like-minded people around you. It's not just your family that you're born into, it's the family that you create. And those goes with your mentors and things, because the more and more someone is around you, the more and more someone is influential on your life, the more a part of your family they become, right? So you have to have these type of people around you, or you just, because no one has your vision. There is 7.2 billion people or something like that on this earth. Every, everyone has their own path. Everyone has their own purpose. Everyone. Every single last one. So yes, you can give me your opinion. Yes, you can, but there's no way that you can tell me. And we cannot keep doing the same thing out of fear of disappointing our parents or disappointing our loved ones, or be looking at differently, just, seeing how someone is judging you or looking at you or what they may think about you. Forget what they think about you. Don't worry about what other people think about you. That includes family members, relative, friends, co-workers, associates, everyone. Don't worry about how no one think about you. If you know that you are on a path of doing something that is righteous, that is within your hearts, that is in the bounds of righteousness, then you follow through with what it is that is given to you to do. Because, like I said, we can't keep doing the same things. We need to educate ourselves about life insurance. We need to leave things behind before our children, because when our children see that we do it, then they do it. When they grow up, it becomes a pattern. You tend to recreate the same patterns that your parents created if you don't consciously break the cycles. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us have to consciously break the cycles of things that was embedded in our mind or embedded in our programming, because we want to be different. We want to do something different. We want to be more, right? And it makes sense. It definitely makes sense. It's just like they say that we are our ancestors' wildest dreams. See, they knew it was going to take 2 or 3 generations to get a lot of the programming out to get to the point of where we are today. Where we are today, our children are going to be 9 years old, knowing about LLCs, credit, just everything like that, insurance, life insurance, auto insurance, health insurance, all type of things of protecting yourselves, the importance of your finances, your health, the importance of eating right, and not eating fast food every day and things like that. Like, just the things that goes on with your body, more and more so about your body and the things that you deal with. That our children are going to be way more about that, because we know way more about that than our parents, than the generation before us. So it's what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. It's important that we continue to be this wondering mind generation. It's important that we continue to research and change things that we can change. Right? Like, literally the courage to enough to step out and maybe have someone talk, maybe you risk someone talking down on you. It take courage to do that. You got to step out there. It take courage to do that. You know what I'm saying? But it takes courage to change the things that you can change. We can change the mindsets of these next generations. We can change. This is a right now. If you don't understand what is going on with the wealth switch and transition right now, you're missing out. You got to go research that. You got to get your oar in the water, right? Because it's a great financial shift that's going on right now. I don't know if y'all know it, but it's happening. And if we want to be a part of that, we have our children, our next generations be a part of that. We got to go out there and be able to have the courage to go against the norm. Who want to be normal when you can be great? Like, normal is boring. You have to have the courage enough to go against the norm. If not, you just gonna be ordinary people. And I ain't speaking of in the sense of John Legend. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're just gonna be ordinary, like a zombie walking around, just going to work 9 to 5, 40 years, retired, trying to live off Social Security. Should they say Social Security ain't even gonna be there by the time we get to retiring age? 30 more years, 40 more years. Ain't even gonna be no Social Security and no enough like that for our people. They was really, really worried about the baby boomer generation. So, and getting past that, you know what I'm saying? Now they banning abortions already. They making generations bigger and bigger and bigger. Ain't gonna be no Social Security for them. Ain't gonna be no Social Security for us. What we gonna do? Working at Walmart, 70 years old, being a greeter at Walmart or something like that? Like, who wants to work their whole life to do that? Got to do something different. You got to use that courage. You got to have that courage to. And I don't want to seem like I'm preaching to y'all. because that's not my intention. My intention is to inform you what it is, because it really hurted my heart to see such, like, someone famous, really, that I watched growing up, things like that, pass away and not have any life insurance, whose wife has to create a GoFundMe saying they don't have nothing. That makes you feel like irresponsible with money. Money management is key. There's no point of making, you can make all the money in the world. If you don't know how to manage it, you ain't gonna do nothing with it. Ain't nothing gonna happen with it. Money management is key. Now, another thing, what I'm gonna go into with this last 10 minutes, right, is how did the wife even allow it? That's not, the men out here, see, we talk about gender roles, and this new generation want everything to be 50-50. They don't really want to have no roles in the relationships and the houses, anything like that. And then you get stuff like this that happens, right? Because I was always taught that, a woman's to make sure that her household is in order. That's not talking about making sure that ain't saying that it's clean or nothing like that. When you say your household is in order, there's a lot of things that goes into your household being in order. You're talking about the spirituality and you know what I'm saying, your children, the food that you're eating, the education, and all the knowledge that's flowing through your house. Yes, part of your house physically, yes, your house being clean. Yes, it's being food and toiletries and things like that available in the house when needed. But also, you have financial literacy, you have the bills, the money management portion of the household, all that goes into the household being taken care of, the budget, everything like that, it all goes into the household being taken care of. So there's no way that as my husband you could be an actor bringing in millions of dollars and we never sat down and talked about life insurance policy, or we never sat down and had a rainy day fund. Do you know 57% of Americans do not have a rainy day fund? They just don't. You know what I'm saying? So there's no way that as a woman I can be allowing that much money to be flowing through my household, yet I have not put things in order for emergencies or in case something happens to one of us, you know, not just the man, but the man or the woman, because it can happen to either one of us or whatever. But you got to be me and my sister talk about this all the time, because we be talking, saying if something was to happen to one of us, we probably wouldn't go to work for a month. We'll be distraught. We talk almost every day. You know what I'm saying? So it's like those type of things you need to you need assurance that you will be covered in those moments, because you know that they're guaranteed to happen. The last part of serenity prayer says the wisdom to know the difference. See, a lot of people don't know the difference in the things that they can change and the things that they cannot change. They think that everything is just, oh, there's nothing I can do about that. Oh, I did this happen. There was nothing I can do about that. But it is. It's the wisdom to know the difference. See, the wisdom to know how did those type of things, how did this even come into my reality? How did this even come into play? See, you have to start doing some investigation on yourself. You have to start doing some self-investigation to see what have I done to cause this to come into form. That's what a lot of people don't like to admit. You know what I'm saying? That a lot of things are based off of our own personal habits, what it is that you do. If you're in a bad situation and just, we don't like to admit that. We don't like to take the accountability part of it. So when the wisdom part comes in, you have to understand that that is an evaluation of what it is that is going on in your life and what it is that is going on with yourself, to see that, is there something that I can do different to change the outcome of this situation? Is there something that I can do different that's going to make me have a better outcome than what I have now? You know what I'm saying? Is there a different way for me to think? Is there a different way for me to eat? Is there a different way for me to move? Should I start getting up earlier? Is my health declining? Do I need to start working out? Like, you have to do a self-evaluation about yourself, about these type of things or whatever. That's where the wisdom comes in, because you have to know that there are some things that are beyond our control. I don't know, some people don't believe in a higher power. I don't know how they defined it, but there are things that are out of our control. You know what I'm saying? Not there's not as many as you would think, but there are things. Death being one of them. So this weekend, as you're thinking about what you're doing for the weekend and what you're gonna be wearing and where you're going out to and what you're gonna drink and what you're gonna smoke and all this other kind of stuff, ask yourself, do you got life insurance? Because see, the thing about it is you don't want to wait till you need life insurance to try to get life insurance, because then it's gonna be high. It's gonna be your premium's gonna be higher for lower amounts because you're older or you're sick or whatever. So then you want to get life insurance. No, get the life insurance while you're perfectly healthy and it's $20 a month for $1 million. You know what I'm saying? And then plus it's your net worth. How much do you want to be worth? Like life insurance is part of your net worth. I bet y'all didn't know that. When you find that out, you'll really be like, yeah, I need give me $1 million, $100 million, not policy, not just playing, but for something. Maybe you don't need this pair of Jordans. Start a life insurance policy. One pair of shoes. Start a life insurance policy. One weekend going out. Start a life insurance policy. Miss happy hour a week or two, a month if you have to. Life insurance policy. Put yourselves in a position, put your families in a position of where, they're not struggling to recognize your life or to celebrate your life. Here go that yawning again. Y'all need to get some sleep. Um, yeah, I do got to change my sleeping habits though. But anyway, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Put stuff in position, leave your children something. You know what I'm saying? Something happens to you. Be prepared. People walk around here with car insurance all the time. If they started giving tickets like they do for life, like people without life insurance, like they do people without car insurance, I bet y'all get some life insurance then. Cause yeah, you would rather protect your car than protect your family. That don't make sense. Just because someone tells you, oh, you have to have it, or you get a ticket, or you got to pay a fine if you don't have it, so you get it just for those reasons alone. Like, no, that don't make sense. Like, that don't make no type of sense. Why would you want to skip out? It just hurts my heart when I see it, because I see it so much. We see death all around us, and it's always a GoFundMe. And don't get me wrong, some people are just trying to gain money out of a situation. There has been sometimes people being called like just fake GoFundMes and things like that or whatever, but a lot of times those things are real. A lot of times those families need help, so, and it's more often than none that they do, because they got where the family home, not the family home, I'm sorry, the funeral homes have to try to cover and give deals for their services, plus still pay their people, and and things like that or whatever. So it's like things still have to get done. We don't think about all those type of things when we going out weekends, when we're putting ourselves in danger, when we're drinking, smoking, doing whatever it is that you do, eating unhealthy, not working out. Um, you know what I'm saying? Like we don't think about those things then, but our families are the ones that suffer from it, for us not being prepared how we should have been prepared. And it don't take much. It don't take much. I mean, it's just been heavy on my heart since I've, been seeing that, because like I said, I've been dealing with, well, we didn't have to do a GoFundMe for my grandma, but I had a cousin, passed away. Family can't afford to even have a funeral for her. You know what I'm saying? The children dying younger, get life insurance on your children too. Life insurance on your children too. This, because I mean, you never know. Like, so much stuff happens. We're living in a time of COVID. We're living in a time where people are dying from a cold, literally. So it just makes sense. Like it just makes sense. Do something different. Don't be insane. Don't keep doing the same things over and over that we didn't see generation before us do and gets us nowhere. Do something different. I think I'm gonna end on that note. I'm gonna have to. Oh yes, it's about that time anyway. So, real quick, I'm just gonna do the Holy Covenant of Asiatic Nation. Ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care, in the breast of one mother, have given ye suck. Let the bonds of affection, therefore, unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in our Father's house. When you separate in the world, remember the relation that bondeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brothers in adversity assist him, if thy sisters in trouble forsake her not, so shall the fortune of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and its care be continued to you all and your love to each other. Peace.